Welcome back to Doug's Doings. Final assembly of my 1897 Remington rolling block. Big shout out to Ken Womack at Rolling Block Parts, Al at Gunworks, Steve Knowles, and Bruce Tom. Without them, it would not have been possible. It came packaged from my new friend Steve Knowles. So I've been waiting for this all week, a couple weeks actually. So here it comes. This is the receivers back from the 1897 Remington rolling block. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look. Oh gosh. Can you see that? All right, now zoom in there for me, Z. And see if you can get close up on that color. I am super excited now. Let's put this thing together and shoot it. You can see the colors here turn out just beautiful on the receiver and the butt plate. Here's the front sight installing, extra tall. I had really no idea how tall I needed it, so I ordered extra tall. Later, I'll find out that way more than what I ever needed. For the sake of the video, I got everything sped up so I can condense it into a shorter video, but here's I'm laying out all the parts, making sure I've got everything where I want it. This is actually the first time of me putting it all together from just components of parts. I only took it apart when I sent it off to get the color case hardening done, and so here's the locking lever, and I'm looking at it and trying to figure out which way is go. When I took it apart, I took a couple pictures so I could remind myself which way things were supposed to go back in. Here I'm using Brownell's Action Lube to lube the pins and pin holes so the internal components all continue to run smoothly and operate as they should. This stuff lasts for a long time, so I probably won't have to do it very often. I started by putting the locking lever in first and trying to fit the flat spring up underneath it and then screwing it down, and that just was not working. So I had to reverse the order, take the locking lever back out, put that flat spring that goes underneath it to put pressure on it, install it, and then hold the locking lever against it and kind of line up the pinholes in order to install that locking lever. These rolling blocks really are a simple design with not too many moving parts, which kind of makes it fun for me as a hobbyist to figure it out and see how everything lines up and works, and then be able to put it back together and check the function. With the trigger next, holding that in place, get a trigger pin in place, lube up the hole, and it slides in pretty easily. That bluing on there just turned out super nice. Thanks, Steve. That was good work. Next comes the trigger spring. This was a wire spring that was Ken Womack put in there for me when he sent me the action. So it's kind of a new design, and it helps lighten the trigger pull and it just makes things a little bit smoother. So get that installed and then ready to move on to the mainspring. When I first took the mainspring off, I found underneath it original color case hardening on this receiver. So that was cool to see. That was the only spot really that had remained color case hardening from the original finish 127 years ago, just because there's no way to touch it and rub it and remove it. So that was cool to see. Got the mainspring in there, now trying to fit the lower trigger guard assembly into the receiver, and it's a tight squeeze in there, so I kind of had to leverage, install one pin and kind of leverage against it to squeeze it into place and line up the other hole and get the other action screw in. Once we get those in there and torqued down, it worked out pretty good. The firing pin retractor took me a second. I had to go back and reference the pictures that I took of which way that went inside there. basically it helps return the firing spring back to its original spot. You get the hammer in there, got it, and now you got this nice click click action as it works past the safety catch and then the sear engagement. And of course I got the rolling block, went in backwards at first, wrong way, whoops. Get that out, put it back in, and use the button to replace it, and hold those two main pins in place. Everything seems to be functioning properly, so once we get that going, I went ahead and installed the butt plate onto the stock, and man, look at those colors. That just turned out amazing. Again, thank you, Steve Knowles, for doing such a beautiful job on that color case hardening. Blew me away. So now we're ready to reinstall it onto the barrel, and using some anti-seize lubrication, we'll get it twisted on there. Went on pretty easy. Get my action wrench and trying to torque it down and get it lined back up properly, one, so that the sights are lined up perfect, and so that I can get the extractor in the extractor groove. And so it just took a little extra push it and get it down into place. And once I got that lined up, I can reinstall the hammer and rolling block, and then the extractor, so it'll slide into its slot. So we get the action screw back in, and there's the extractor ready to go in. It slides in down the side between the action and the barrel into that slot that we milled out. After getting the extractor retaining screw reinstalled and the pin retaining plate or the button bow tie back on there, time to put the stock back on and finish this up. Stock went back on nice and tight, looks good. Just super impressed with this wood. Again, thanks Ken Womack for picking out a nice set for me. Forearm retaining lug into that dovetail underneath the barrel with that screw. And it's all set, and here you have it, folks. The finished 1897 Remington rolling block, chambered in 4570. Man, super happy the way this turned out. I'd like to thank once again Ken Womack, Steve Knowles, Al, Bruce, Tom for helping me get this thing put together.